everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ahmed Atiyah. You can call me Amadou Atiyah. It's the African version of my name. I'm Egyptian, and today in this video I'm gonna talk about the ancient Egyptian race, or the ancient Egyptian color, or the relation between the modern Egyptian and the ancient Egyptian. Well, why I'm making this video? Because I have seen on YouTube a lot of videos made by the Afro-Americans saying that
the modern Egyptian, we have nothing to do with the ancient Egyptian, and we are just Arab. We are mixed up between Arab, Roman, Greeks, Turkish. We have killed the black native Egyptian, and we took over the country, and so on.
So basically they are saying that we are not Egyptian, we are not Africans, we are Middle Eastern, and that's why I have decided to make this video to prove to you guys that what they say is totally fake, it's false.
Okay, so we've hit point number one. He claims that the people who are modern in Egypt today are the same as the people who were there a long time ago. Let's see how he's going to back that up.
But before I start, I'm gonna make it clear that I'm not talking about the real African brothers, because we Egyptian, we are African and we care about our African brothers. So this video is not for our African brother who live in Africa, okay? As us, as Egyptian, we live in Africa, so we are all Africans, we are all brothers. This video is for the Afro-American, which I don't consider them as Africans. They are Americans, okay? So they are Americans. They are not like us. So this video is not for you guys from Africa, okay? From the real African people, we are all brothers.
I'm not really that interested in politics, but I'm pretty sure that if you are an African American, you are at least connected to the continent of Africa. And just like if you're a European American, you're contacted to the continent of Europe. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that you can't like or focus on any other continent in the world, but why are you attacking people just because they're not from the continent directly? Also, being American, it means they're from the United States of America. It's a continent thing. For example, if I was born in China and I grew up in China, I wouldn't be Asian, but I would be African Chinese. Chinese being the citizenship. African is not a citizen thing, not a citizenship thing. It's more of a vague term, to be honest. Meaning of the continent of Africa.
And also, before I start to speak about the point that I want to speak about, I don't really understand how some people who live outside of Africa, generation after generation, hundreds of years, they are living outside Africa. And they think that they have the right to call us, because we are white, that we are not African, okay? And we are not Egyptian. I think these people, they don't know what the shame is.
I'm almost certain that most people from America, whether they be black or Asian or white, would, if they went to Africa, still consider Egyptians African today. I don't think most people actually give a damn. So I don't know why he's like putting this on African Americans directly.
I'm sure about that. Many of them, or the majority, they have never seen Africa before. They have never been to Africa before. They just saw Africa on the TV. They use the name of Africa for their benefits. Okay, so the Afro-American.
And this is why on the Metatron video I said using the word afrocentrist equals saying the wrong thing, because a lot of people, when they see the word afrocentrist, they look at it as like flat earther or whatever. In this case, this guy is saying racist. They mix it up with a lot of different groups. People who dislike people who are obsessed, certain militant groups in America, certain militant groups in Africa. It's just not, a term that is flattering or positive, and it dismisses anyone who's above the concept of attacking people for no reason.
Are saying that the modern Egyptian, as we are white, we have nothing to do with the ancient Egyptian, because Egypt is in Africa, which is true, of course, and the native Egyptian, according to the Afro-American, the native Egyptian, they were black, and the people who made the Egyptian civilization, they were all black, and no existence of the white people until the Arab conquest or the entrance of Alexander the Great.
Another lie, most people who believe that the black Africans were black do acknowledge the fact that there must have been some Middle Eastern people in Egypt. I mean, they have literal drawings of them and statues.
According to them, they say that it's enough to see the Egyptian papyrus or Egyptian statues or on the tomb of the Egyptian, and you will see how the Egyptian themselves painted themselves, So they say this is enough to prove that the ancient Egyptian, they were black. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same way, the same concept as they use to prove to you guys that what they say is false, is fake, and a lie. And they know that it's a lie, okay? But they prefer to believe their lies. I don't know why. So first of all, let's see how the ancient Egyptians saw themselves. Let's see if they saw themselves white, if they saw themselves black, or what exactly they saw themselves.
Okay, it's time to play a game called Use This Image One More Time, because this is the image they always use whenever they want to say that the ancient Egyptians were white people. So let's see if he uses different images besides this one, because we know for a fact he's going to use this one.
We're going to talk about the Egyptian who have made the civilization, okay? The pharaonic civilization or the Kemetic civilization, not the origin of the first man who came to Egypt. This I don't care about. I don't care if he was black, white, blue, red, whatever his color was, and this is not my point. I'm talking about the Egyptian who have made the civilization in Egypt, in the Nile Valley, okay? Because that we believe in Egypt, they were our ancestors, okay? So because we don't know other ancestors but them. So let's see how the ancient Egyptians saw themselves, if they saw themselves as black or white. Using the same technique that they use, using the same way that the Afro-American use to prove their concept, their idea, their point. We can also use the same way. Okay, here we go. First of all, this map show you how the Egyptian saw themselves. I'm talking about the picture, of course. These representations made by the ancient Egyptian, where you can see from the east how they see the people of the east, how they see the people of the west, how they see the people of the South and West Africa and South Africa too, okay? And the most important, how the Egyptian see himself. Let's carry on.
And of course, he used this image as well. This is another one they like to use. But as you can see, let's debunk it again. As you can see, the two Asian type people, the Libyan and the Asian, look hella different than the Egyptian in terms of skin color. The Egyptian and the Nubian, though looking different, first of all, the Nubian is a specific nation in Africa, so I would expect them to look different than some other Africans. But then secondly, the Egyptian is only lighter than the Nubian. If you look at their hair, it's kind of the same. If you look at basically it's the same general pose, but the the Middle Eastern and the Libyan one, they look like twins, basically. The best you could say is that that the ancient Egyptians look like they're somewhere in the middle of all of these races?
Well, this is very interesting. This one example of hundreds and hundreds of example in Egypt. These two statues are in the Egyptian museum. They from the old kingdom. Okay, they are not from the Ptolemaic period. They are not from the Roman period. They are not from the Hyksos period. They are from the old kingdom, from the beginning of the Egyptian civilization. We can see clearly, that's obvious that they are not sub-Saharan.
Based on the previous picture that he showed, it's pretty clear that the ancient Egyptian at least didn't think the men were as light-skinned as the people in the Middle East. So I don't know why he first shows the old one, where it shows that the Egyptians are quite brown, and then he shows this new picture and claims that it's the same as like, no. The Egyptian is clearly brown, and his wife is painted yellow because of fertility. She might have been a foreigner, but I haven't seen any proof of that.
Okay, you can see the man, okay, the features, the woman, and we can see also very interesting details that she is wearing a wig. Okay, she's wearing a Nubian wig because it was like the fashion in the ancient Egypt.
Okay, so this guy has shown signs of honesty and mentioned that this hairstyle is closer to the Nubian hairstyle than it is to like Middle Easterners. But one thing that he's not taking into account is, why do you think Nubian hairstyles were so famous in Egypt? Do you think it's because it suited the way that they looked? Do you think it's because they were actually themselves the same as whatever the Nubians were? Don't you think so?
That the woman wearing a Nubian wig. You can see here the real hair of the girl. Also,
let's pretend for 1 second that is her real hair. First of all, why is it so low? Why is it so close to her eyebrows? And then secondly, what makes you think that hair is flat if it's her hair? It looks like there's something placed there, some kind of ornament or something. I don't know why you would assume that is hair. The part that's hair is clearly the thing that you call a wig, which is probably her real hair. Also, can you imagine as a woman, if you're a woman, I want you to imagine this. Someone is doing a statue of you and they're like, oh, dude, make sure you can see the bottom of my hair so it looks like I'm wearing a hat for hair. Why is she trying to show that she's got really bad wigs and that her wigs are exposing the bottom of her hair? And if she has hair, why is she wearing a goddamn wig?
So one of the 100 examples, of the Egyptian color. Okay, this girl, the ancient Egyptian artist, could paint her using any other color, brown or black. So why he painted her as white? Why? If she was a black, why he didn't paint her with black color?
I'm actually glad that he showed this image, because you can see here that this is the same hair that statue of that woman had. And as you can see, the hair goes all the way down to the eyebrows, because that's what they're trying to depict in the previous one. They weren't trying to depict that the hair at the bottom was fake or was like her other hair. And you can see it's the same hairstyle. She's even got the ring around the crown of her head. So Yeah, and to address the skin color thing, I mean, there's way more women painted as brown in Egypt than there are yellow. But the yellow thing is a sign of fertility and other things.
Other examples, no, you can see the color, you can see the features, you can see.
Wait a minute, what does he mean we can see? These two people look brown. Sure, the other one looks lighter skinned, but these two people look brown. What in the world is he talking about?
You can see here also a woman drinking from the river Nile. So, and you can see that she is not black, which is obvious.
This is even worse than last time. This is funerary papyrus. This woman is drinking with a crocodile because she is in a funerary papyrus. This is religious imagery. And if you look at all the other images of women in Egypt that you choose not to show, look how black they are. If you would have to conclude then that if that's a white woman because her skin appears white, then these are black people because their skin appears black.
Other two Egyptian girls, you can see them.
Wait a minute, is this guy trolling? Is he trolling? Because there's no way in hell that anyone can say that these people look white. He's like, other girls. The last one, you should have stopped on the last one. What the hell?
Here we have really important note. So why this guy in the middle, he's darker than the other two gods? Why? Because these two gods have now a human body, okay, and their color same like my color right now. But this guy in the middle, the farmer, why he is brown? Why he is darker than them? If you are really Egyptian, you would understand and you would know the answers, okay? But as you are not Egyptian, you are American, you would never know. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you as I'm Egyptian. I know. Any Egyptian working under the sun in their land, the farmers, they are all with this color. You can check on internet, you know, the picture of the Egyptian farmer. You will find them having the same color, you know, the same color. The two gods, of course, they have a lighter color because they are not farmers, but also that they have a human body, okay? So they don't have this color because they are gods, okay? So because I know that some people would say, hey, they are gods, so they are represented with different color. So no, they are represented now as human with human body, okay? So don't play in this point.
Okay, so the four gods that he has on screen who are lighter skin, which by the way, it has been said that the skin of the gods was made of gold, but I'll show you that we don't even need this defense. These gods were definitely portrayed in the same skin color as this dude. As you can see, this is Thoth, the guard here, and you can see it's the exact same person, but this time they're painted brown just like the other dude. And now Horus, which he shows being accompanied by Nefertiti, while he's one looks lighter skin. The image that I imposed on top with Nefertari is he's darker. He's the same skin color as Nefertari. And this is Seth and Horus, and as you can see, Seth is the one that still you can be able to see. His skin is darker in the image that I'm showing than in the image he's showing. I'm actually legitimately puzzled he chose to go down this line of attack.
Now we've learned that the white Egyptians, the farmers especially, worked all day long in the sun. And of course, if you work in the sun, you become brown. And all the farmers are painted this way with a brown color. This is the reason why. Now we understand. And the other point is that the Nubian wig was a fashion in the old times. It was very fancy at that time, and it's from the old Egyptian period, the beginning of the beginning, like he said.
Well, first of all, there's no proof that this guy was even a farmer. We know that he was a son of a king. That's why there's this much detail. You don't really get to have statues like this as a farmer. And then secondly, the reason why this woman has got a Nubian wig is because they had so much access to Nubians, and this idea that it's a wig, it's not a wig, it's her real hair. They had a lot of access to Nubians, so they copied their hairstyles. But this is not a wig, this is her real hair. This is actually a black woman who's painted yellow.
Have seen the Egyptian how they see themselves, okay? And now let's see how the Egyptian see the sub-Saharan, how they look like for the ancient Egyptian. We can see here the typical enemies of Egypt, how they are represented. You can see the Libyan, the Nubian, or the sub-Saharan, and the Syrian, how they are represented. This of the Tutankhamun king, he represents his enemy, or the enemy of Egypt, under his feet. Well, we can see here how the sub-Saharan represented, how the color is represented, okay, and the features, it's totally different than the ancient Egyptian. So the ancient Egyptian, they saw the sub-Saharan are different than them.
Okay, so he shows an image of a Nubian in the middle, an Asiatic on one side, and a Libyan on the other side. And this image proves nothing, because all it proves is that the ancient Egyptians also didn't see Asiatics like they saw themselves, and they saw the Nubians as darker. But as you'll see, Nubians don't look that different.
Okay, here in this picture, somebody could tell me, hey Amadou, I see here this guy is represented with the same color as the Egyptian have represented themselves. I would tell him, yes, of course, it's clear, but here we can see the features. Okay, the feature is really different to the ancient Egyptian.
Wow, that was fast. He went from the Nubians looked nothing like the skin color of the ancient Egyptians, and with one image he was like, actually some of them look like they have the same skin color. Wow.
Okay, here you will understand what I'm talking about. Here there is no color, there is no white, there is no black, there is no brown. Here all the scene with the same color, but it's clear and obvious that the Egyptian who is counting, here the numbers of, the enemy of Egypt, and you can see it's clear that the different features, with the Egyptian. So Egyptians, they saw themselves different. Okay, so it's not about color, man. It's not about color.
First of all, it is about color, and then secondly, this is war propaganda. Didn't in your earlier video say that the ancient Egyptian woman used to wear Nubian wigs, as fashion, and then now they're showing these captured war veterans. They're showing them in a negative light because this is war propaganda.
They could be the same color, man. They could be the same color as the Egyptian, okay, but the features are different. You can see, man. You can see. It's clear, you know. Okay, I want to make it also clear that in this video, I want to go to show you the truth. Okay, I'm not hiding anything. And in this video, I'm not saying that the ancient Egyptians were white, okay, or they were black.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. He's now showing the dark-skinned Egyptians. Let's see if his opinion changes or stays exactly the same. Everybody, place your bets.
I can't deny, and nobody can deny the existence of the black or even the sub-Saharan race in the ancient Egypt. Okay, and they were one of the component who built and who made the ancient Egyptian people. Here we can see obviously that they are not white. They look more like people from Ethiopia, from Eritrea, from Sudan, you know, also from Nubia. Here also we can see that they are not white. Okay, they are not white. Here too we can see that they are not white. Okay, they are darker than the people that we have seen before. Look here, the difference between this color and this color, and especially that color over there. We can see that the ancient Egyptian, they weren't all of them white, of course. So I can't deny, and nobody can deny, the existence of other race or black people in the ancient Egypt. Okay, nobody can do it. You can see also the king, the founder of the Middle Kingdom. You can see, of course, his features. It's clear. You can see the nose. No, you can see everything. You know, it's like the feature is really clear, and nobody can deny the existence of a black Egyptian or the sub-Saharan people. This also from the Old Kingdom. This the King Khufu, the founder of the Great Pyramid in Giza, my city, Giza. You can see, it's obvious, the eyes, the nose. You can see that he is not white. You know, the features are really clear. You can see here that
Okay, I see what happened. Shout out to this guy, because when he was presented with different evidence, he decided to change his opinion. So in his first video, he was claiming that there was no evidence that the ancient Egyptians weren't black, but he was presented by his fans on the second video that the ancient Egyptians were black, and he changed his mind and said he can't even deny. And that's good, because denial is a river in Egypt. And he clearly, I don't even know what to say. I'm confused. He actually changed his mind. This is impressive. And this is what I say. This is why, quote unquote, Afrocentrists need to keep doing what they're doing. Most of these people have never even seen the dark black statues. So Here's a conversion, people.
The difference, it's clear, nobody can deny the sun, as we say in Egypt. So as you can see, you can't say that the ancient Egyptian, they were black or they were white, okay? Because ancient Egyptian, it's obvious that they were mixed, okay, between black and white. The ancient Egyptian who made the civilization of ancient Egypt, okay? You can't say that they start black and later they have mixed with white, because this here from the old kingdom and this from the new kingdom, okay?
Oh, what the hell? He was doing so well. Yes, there was a minority of Middle Eastern people in Egypt, but the majority of them would have been black, like you showed in your pictures that you have. And yes, later on they were joined by other Asiatics, completely changing the race of the people. Damn, this video is all over the place. Now he's claiming that, let's read it. This proves clearly that kinky hair blacks from the south are not native to Egypt. What? You just showed earlier pictures that show them as black. You see, what's happening right now is there's a rumbling in this guy's stomach where he is getting evidence that's betraying him and he's moving on to higher ground, because this is what they usually do. They move from ancient Egyptians were all white and the Nubians were their neighbors and had nothing to do with Egypt, and then they find out that some of the Egyptians were black, or at least most of them, and then they moved to actually they were a mixed population. And then their next step is just to deny the statues completely or to accept that the ancient Egyptians were black.
So here she is the oldest than here, okay? I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. So guys, at the end of the video, we could see that the ancient Egyptian, they were mixed between black and white. So if you also read the history, you would find more and more evidence of this, and it's logical, it's logical because of the geographic situation of Egypt. So it's logical, and we have seen that it's from the beginning of the history of Egypt that they were mixed. Okay, not because of Alexander the Great or the Roman or Greeks or Arab. No, it's from the beginning of the Egyptian civilization. Also, I want to say something that you could be, of course, proud. You can be proud of the Egyptian civilization as an African civilization. But you should and you must respect the modern Egyptian, the actual Egyptian, all here in Egypt, and stop saying lies, okay? And to my people of Africa, the other African or the rest of the African brothers, you guys must be proud of the Egyptian civilization as an African civilization. We need unity in Africa between North, South, West, East, and that is it. So long life to Egypt, long life to Africa, long life to Africans in Africa. See you guys, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, someone needs to make a Curb Your Enthusiasm out of this. Take the part where he said that the ancient Egyptians were not black, and then later he comes back and says they most definitely were. But, I respect the fact that he was honest enough to show those images, because a lot of these guys, they'll talk a big game, and then when they're shown evidence, they just run away or retreat. So shout out to this guy for actually facing up to the task. And to make things clear, I don't even think that later on he disagrees that much with the opinion. He himself has been converted into an Afrocentrist, quote unquote. Like I said in that Metatron video, if you convert someone, if they believe, are they now an Afrocentrist? Is this guy an Afrocentrist now?